I've been leading the trip for 15 years, and every year I learn something new. I see something different. I make a different connection from what happened in the past to what's happening now, which lets us know there's so much more to learn and so much more to do.
The reason for the trip is to situate the civil rights movement in the larger scope of history. And I look at this quote over here on the wall, that the persistence, because justice is a constant struggle. To me, that's part of the trip as well, that we haven't gotten there yet, we may not get there, but the persistence for justice as a constant struggle.
I'm sitting here for the first time at the National Lynching Memorial, and I'm overwhelmed right now. I was able to write the story about a lynching that took place in 1921 in Fort Worth. Though that incident happened 100 years ago, there's still humanity attached, and people who have to deal with that trauma generations later. And so I'm sitting right underneath the column for Tarrant County. Fred Rouse was lynched on December 11, 1921. And I know his grandson, his great-grandson, his great-granddaughters, his nieces and nephews. And so I can't say that justice has been served, but at least we have the memory of your grandfather. His name is recognized for the rest of the country and the world to see. You know, as I went through this museum experience, the most impactful and sobering moment was actually going through the whole of the replica slave ship, because it was intentionally dark. All you could look up and would see was the grate, and I sat in there for maybe a good 2 minutes, and it was just overwhelming with emotion. But to know that our people were so resilient that we're able to still be here all these centuries later. Something I'll leave with this trip.
I think it was all really powerful, but at the end, our tour guide Gwen was telling us about the fearlessness and the power of students and what they can accomplish. And as a high school teacher, that hit me pretty close as well. Thinking about my students and their fearlessness and the hopes of what they might accomplish.
Medgar Evers was assassinated here, and his wife and his kids saw him as he was about to die, and just knowing what him and his family had to go through just for them to have equal rights, to be treated like human beings, the fact that they don't have a front door so that they could protect themselves, the lengths in which they had to go to protect themselves just for them to sit in the same space as white people, for them to go to the same schools. This is really heartbreaking.
Left side say Rosa, right side say Parks. Rosa!